Hi everyone, welcome to Three Coaches and One Topic. I'm Donna Burfield and I run this group, and I'm also a joy and purpose coach. So what we're going to do today is we're just going to go around and introduce ourselves, and then we've got this wheel and it will decide what topic we're talking about. So if we go straight to Jihan and then Sylvia, if you'd like to introduce yourself.
Okay, so hi everyone. My name is Jihan Gatti. I'm the founder of Expand Coach, which is a leadership consultancy and executive coaching practice, and I'm a proud member of the certified coach group. So happy to be here with you.
And hello everyone, Silvia Bottini here. I am an executive and team coach and founder of a coaching practice called Be Coached. We support leaders, managers, and their teams into creating a strong leadership presence. And of course, I am a member of the Coaches Supporting Coaches group as well.
Thank you so much, guys. And I keep on forgetting to say that joy and purpose coaching, what do I do? I primarily it started off more with parenting, single parents, and then it's grown to non-parents and obviously coaches. Right. So as we've only got 20 to 30 minutes, what we'll do is I'm just going to share this script. Oh, hold on.
It's nice.
Oh, yeah, hold on. Hide. Oh, no. Oh, dear.
It's fine. You can see it.
We can see it actually, yes. You can
No,
let
this
the
is...
wheel.
Oh. Okay, here we go. Okay, so I am just going to spin this wheel and we'll see what our topic is. Okay, our topic today is going to be niches. Okay, so let me just remove this and put this back. Awesome. Okay, so niches. I saw a post on LinkedIn, actually. It was either yesterday or the day before. And it was talking about what is the difference between niches and job titles. So I thought that was quite interesting. So what is your perception on this?
Well, very interesting what you've seen. Let's say for me, my perspective here, my job title gives an idea to the people I serve or the people that want to be supported by me as a coach of what I do in terms of enhancing their ability. So I define myself as a leadership coach. So it's for anyone that wishes to be leading or be a leader, either in a company or in a home, in a community, because that's leadership, being able to guide and influence other people. So the job title should give a message to what I do as a core job. And then there is the executive and team coach, which is somehow describing maybe the main niche, because most of my part of my job is done within organization. Then what you see in executive and team coach, you may think, okay, this coach is serving managers, aspiring leaders in an organization and teams as well within an organization.
Great.
Nice.
And Jihan?
Yeah, I mean, and it's interesting how Sylvia is defining it. Because for me, like I would say, executive coaches would be my title, and then my niche would be leaders and teams going through uncertainty, etc. But and that actually highlights the fact that these are only labels, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the way I would see it is that a title is for people to put us in a box, Like when we work in a company, I'm a marketing director, I'm a business development, I'm the CEO, I'm the CFO. That's the job title. So it's the common language or the most common language for people to know where to put you in. So that's my own understanding and perspective. So as coaches, we can say executive coach or leadership coach or career coach or parenting coach, whatever is the most common language. Then in terms of niche is who do I serve specifically? So I can be, if I take something outside of coaching, like I'm a marketing director, that's my title, but I work specifically, like in my previous job, for example, I work specifically into marketing this specific brand of lubricants within the mining sector in Africa. Or
Yeah.
now that's in the niche is who am I serving specifically within this job title that can be the umbrella of something else. That's the way I see it.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And right, so when you guys went through your training, I know they kept on saying niche down, niche down, niche down. Now, how difficult was that for you at the beginning? What were you feeling? What was going on for you?
Go on,
Well,
Sylvie.
interesting. Yes, I also here it's a process. When you identify your niche, it's not something that comes immediately, but it's also very subjective. It
Hmm.
depends what you're feeling, what you're thinking, how ready you are to go into coaching. If you are at the beginning only exploring the profession of coaching and then eventually deciding or feeling that you want to serve a certain group of people. So for me, it was in any always connected to somehow help people in the workplace, help people as people. So in their personal and professional development, but specifically within the workplace. Why? Because I had a real mission, having left the corporate world and experienced how vibrant it can be, but also how toxic it can become.
Mm.
Felt I wanted to help people in that system, in that environment. And then I realized that perhaps people that are managers and leaders have a lot of responsibility here in creating the culture, in creating an environment that is more or less toxic, where the culture is inclusive. And eventually my heart went towards these the leaders and managers. But having said this, it doesn't mean that my methodology and the way I converse with my clients is not suitable for someone who's in a career transition, someone who is an entrepreneur, someone
Yeah.
who is deciding to have a break, a career break, and wants to be at home with the family. It's a conversation, and most of our conversations are based on finding who the person really is, what are the values of the person. So this is how
Yeah.
I see it.
Yeah. And Jihan, what's your take on this?
Okay, so it goes back to when I just got out of this coaching school and like life coach because I did the life course on life coach. I had even a friend saying, "Isn't that a bit like how do you say it? Like, who do you think you are to be a life coach?" Like, generic. And the same, like some of the coaches that are when we met them in the discuss and grow within our group, and they're just coming out and starting, they're like full of yeah, and we learned all these techniques, and I can help everyone and anyone and all of that. And at the same time, the message is go and find your niche, and you need to find your niche in there. And I think the disconnect is about, yes, as Sylvia was saying, we have the methodology and after all, we're always talking to people. And it depends where your heart goes to leaders or to parenting, as you're doing, Donna. And it depends on your background. What the missing link, I think, within our coaching schools is that we want to help as coaches, right?
Yeah.
And it is a business
Yeah.
on the other side. So my understanding of it is that niche, making a niche is for our messaging, is also to make sure that we are, in terms of our marketing and the way we talk to people, it's not generic. So there's
Mm,
this connection to our target audience. It's not something that limit us. So when we discuss with new coaches, and even when I was, it's like, but I can help that people. Why do I only need to help women, or why do I only need to help leaders? I can help anyone. But helping everyone will dilute the message, and we end up not helping anyone actually.
yeah.
So, and niching doesn't mean if I'm saying I help, we have a lot of coaches that like, I help people with their health or nutritionists, or we have such a variety in the group. Doesn't mean only women will come or only someone who had that specific problem. You
Yeah.
will help other people. It just helps you to focus on the messaging and be more effective. So don't be scared with niches. Like just go for it. As Sylvia was saying, whoever you'd love to work with initially, start with that. It will make your message stronger, and then it will bring other people anyway.
Exactly. And personally speaking, I think when you go through your training, it's giving you all the skills. It's a bit like a GP who knows a little about everything, and then that specialist that you go, and that's where that focus really is. And then that's where you specialize, and that's where you get that credibility with doing further education, qualifications and stuff within that niche range. So whilst I came out of Jay Shetty certification school, the first, and then I ended up doing the ICF. But when I was going through the Jay Shetty school, we learned a bit about health, we learned a bit about finance, we learned a bit about grief, we learned. However, for me, looking back, that was awareness. These are things to look for. And then when you near the end of your training, you start niching down and say, okay, what qualifications do I need that is going to be specific to that niche that I want to be an expert in?
So did you find it easy, Donna, to really find your niche when you started?
No, and I think the reason being is because of my age.
Come on.
Oh, interesting again, your age expand. What's behind this belief, Faith.
Well, I think it's because I've lived.
Yeah,
I've
that's
done,
different. It's your
Okay.
experience
yeah,
and your wisdom, not your age. Come
exactly.
on.
Well, yeah, well, partly
Experience.
experience, but I think, and there's a lot of people, I think, when they're at my age and they've changed careers. Now, don't forget, I had 26 years in education. Before that, I had 7 years as a nanny. So children, family was a huge part of my life. And also learning support. So, and then becoming a single parent, I had that as well. So everything was leading to parenting and schools and children. But that other side of me thought, no, I want to move away from that because I've been doing it since I was 13. I've been working with children since I was 13. So for me to then try and find a niche out of my comfort zone was very, very difficult until I started coaches supporting coaches. That was so out of my comfort zone. So, but again, I think it's the same as authors. When you first start writing, you write about experiences and people that you know, and then you elaborate on that. And I think that's part of the journey when you're trying to find your niche is you draw on what you know, and then as expand and meet diverse people, like we're meeting in coaches supporting coaches, it's just like, oh, I've never heard of this is interesting, let me research this a little bit more. So your niche can change over time.
And you can change over time. We, as
Yeah.
coaches, as individual, change over time. We experience conversations with several people, our clients or groups, because being a team coach or a group coach, I do experience rooms with lots of people, and this experience is somehow giving new information, giving me new ideas, new instinct. And I often let myself be guided by my instinct as well. And so my instinct and experience together take me perhaps to open up more to another niche. So it is something that I would say is flexible maybe and changing. It can change over time. And why not?
And it should with your life experiences and your perception, because you're going to be exposed to so many new people and information. Your thoughts are going to change.
Of course.
What do you think, Jihan? Do you think when you're doing executive and leadership, for anybody that thinks, oh, I want to get into that niche, and I think a lot of times some coaches think that's where the money's at. If I can work with executives and leaders, I'm going to be able to charge more and so forth and work for the corporate. But it's a completely different language. So can you, Jihan, give us some tips on if people want to make that their niche, what should they think about?
Because I had two different perspectives on this, and I had just a discussion the other day with someone saying, really to go into the leadership coaching and executive coaching, you need to have that experience before to have the same language and to build the rapport. And I wasn't sure 100% about that. Like from my perspective, I can see the way I say it is that if you start as a new coach, start with what you know already from your own experience, because we still have to build that kind of confidence. And it's not as if, as you said, I stopped that life and I'm starting something new and forget about it. That was how I was doing initially. Like corporate was fine, but forget about corporate. Now I'm a new coach. No, we bring the whole experience. People who have a background in legal, in finance, in whatever happened before, we are one person. We carry that, and that's what makes us unique to our clients. So I would say if you are starting with leadership and executive, if you don't have any background before, go and do some certification focused on that at least. So there are coaching certification based on leadership and executive coaching and team coaching, etc. Don't start just because one, you will not have, it's not going to be easy to have the credibility. It's not going to be easy to have the introductions. It's not going to be easy maybe to make the connection, as you said. There's a certain language, there's a certain perspective regarding emotions. Like if I go to an executive, I mean, depending, I'm generalizing here, but just and start talking about how you feel and your feeling and the wellness and the well-being. Maybe, I mean, the focus is, come on, performance. Give me the performance. What's the return on investment right here? Let's talk about like facts and being factual, and you will lose the credibility and your efficiency as a coach. So once you progress and you have some experience into coaching, then you can go outside the framework. And even if you didn't work with corporate, etc., you can approach these people and you can talk to them, because as you said before, we change, we gain experience, and we become more adaptable. And as coaching, we need to understand that we listen more than we talk, and we mirror. So the more we gain that, the more, even if we don't know the language, we can build that rapport by building our presence, by mirroring the language. So it is possible, but I would say not from the beginning. From someone who's more experienced, yes, I would say you can switch to, that's my opinion, you can switch to leadership and executive once you have the experience and you really developed your coaching skills.
Yeah, once you got the experience, and do you find, Sylvia, that it's helpful that if you've actually walked the walk as well? Because so many people complain about people above them leadership, senior man, whoever, um, without truly understanding what it is like to be responsible for a team, to have those deadlines, to have that budget, and to, you know, worry about not only the workforce but their private life as well. So, what's your thoughts?
I think it is important to have an insight into the
Hmm.
life of your niche, into the life of people that you are going to coach. Just because you, as Jeanne said earlier, you begin a relationship and you talk possibly the same language at the beginning. It's like recognizing each other. We belong, or we have belonged to the same system, the corporate world, for example. And this gives some level of trust as well. It brings a
Mm,
level of trust into the relationship. Your coachee, your client begins to trust you. So this
yeah.
is what I think is the greatest value eventually. If you have walked in their shoes, if you know the system they are operating within, then trust begins to grow at a faster rate, I must say. That's the important thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Eventually, once you have built trust, you know anyhow that you're going to go into conversations that are much deeper than the performance management, performance review, because that is offered most of the time almost in corporate world by the HR department, by the talent management team. So we also do another job, an additional job that goes
Mm.
much deeper into the person's value, personality, style, preferences, deep motives. But what you said, having walked the talk and having lived in the same system where my clients are currently operating, is helping me to build trust.
Exactly. And I do want to point out that just because you are not a CEO, or you're not uh, a personal trainer, that you can't go into these niches at all. And it's the same for a parenting coach. It doesn't mean that you have to have, you know, been a parent, and a divorce coach. You don't have to necessarily have gone through a divorce. However, what happens is when you're attracting those clients, you're attracting those clients because they are either going through it, or, you know, are thinking about it. So if you're doing parenting, if I've got a client in front of me and they know I've got 3 children, they know I've done this, that there's that kind of, okay, you get me. When I say I'm stressed or I'm frazzled, or you understand where I'm coming from. So again, if it is a particular niche that you want to go down, it is about being credible and getting those, those qualifications, and getting into those groups and talking to your tribe so you can pick up those
Yes.
things.
I also think you feel more comfortable. That's also
Yeah.
something that
Yeah.
gave me absolute confidence, because confidence is important. I feel comfortable when I talk to people that are in the corporate environment, because that environment is familiar. And because I am familiar, I feel I am in my comfort zone somehow, and being in your comfort zone, we always say as coaches, you need to stretch yourself and
Yeah.
begin to move out of your comfort zone. But in this context, in the context of finding a niche, if you are comfortable with the environment and the system the person you're serving is finding herself into, that's an advantage.
Yeah.
And
Um, okay, so have you guys, before we wrap up, have you got any tips or pieces of advice for coaches that are looking at narrowing down their niches?
just do it. Like, don't overthink it. Like,
Okay.
honestly, because there are so many marketing advice out there on how to define your niche and how to do the statement. And you say, I support, help people do what, so that, and all of that things. And sometimes it can be overwhelming. The name of the person, my ideal avatar client is ta 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 with everything. And I just pick one and go for it. Like honestly. Then my advice, don't spend too much time on that. Pick one that you feel comfortable with. You're maybe not 100% sure this is what you're going to be doing in 6 months or 1 year or 2 years.
Mhm.
That's totally fine. Don't try to make it perfect. It's not about perfection, it's about progression, it's about movement. Just pick one, the one
Mm.
that you think about, and go with that and try it out. Don't do it for 1 month and then change it. Like do it consistently at least for 3 4 months and then see how it goes with you when you talk with that client, whether it gives you energy, whether it drains your energy, because that's important. And then you review that. Just do it.
Yep, Sylvia.
Yes, what can I say here? I actually would say observe yourself and see which people you want to go towards. You
Yeah.
want to help whom? With your instinct as well. Oh, I'd like to support you. And you feel enthusiasm. You have the courage to do that. So for me, it's more about listening deeper to your motive and see where the enthusiasm is. Where do you want to really go
Yeah.
instinctively? Especially when you meet people and you feel somehow drawn to them, to their world. So it's a work, it's a type of work that is done before you go to, let's say, a so-called marketing course where they help you define.
Oh.
So this is more of a observe yourself, feel
Yeah.
yourself, and see where your energies are going to.
Exactly. And from my side, there's twofold. One of the exercises I did that really helped me niche down and get to know why is called 7 Levels Deep. It's a Dean Graziosi, Tony Robbins um, exercise. And it just keeps on asking yourself why. Why is this important? Why is this important? Why is this? And it goes down 7 levels. And that really, really, really helped me personally. And another thing that I found very, very useful, and some coaches are nervous about doing this, reach out to those that are doing what you want to do, learn from them, take their courses, invest in your profession by taking the courses that you want to do as well. And, please have that professional integrity. Don't copy. Coaches spend a lot of time on their work. So, be mindful about that. But do those courses and see what you like, what you didn't like, and ask them, you know, what support do you have around you doing this niche? Who should I be reaching out to? So that coming from me is, always have people that are at least 2 steps ahead of you so you can learn.
And that's a very important point, Donna, because it can be a lonely journey at the beginning.
Mm.
And as coaches, the way I felt is like, oh, now I know everything. I shouldn't be asking for help. I'm the one that's going to help everyone else in the world. So it's not always easy to ask for help, and that's why also this kind of group that you created, the coaches supporting coaches, is really the right platform, because it also brings coaches from different areas, from a different level of expertise, because these kind of forums exist when it's the same school or same organizations,
Yeah.
but here we are with really, there's this richness of different perspectives, and this nice space really of we are here to help and support each other. We're not competing with each other. I mean, me and Sylvia has niches that are similar, but we're
Learn.
not competing. We're learning from each other. Um, we it's one. There's this thing. I love this. So I just, if I have just 30 seconds,
Yeah.
there's this castel in Spain There's this game where they have these human towers, and they have this competition, what's the tallest one floors, And I love that because for me, that's what we are. You can see the strong man at the bottom and then the kids on the top, but they all building on each other's strength. They're all very diverse to really reach the top. And that's how we want to, that's how I love to look at this kind of dynamic that we have in the group and that we have in general.
Absolutely. And as you said, you two have similar,
Yes.
niches, but again, you've both got different trainings, you've had different life experiences, you see things differently. So, Sylvia, looks like you were going to answer to that. What would you like to say?
I'm actually definitely we have the same niche, but very different life experiences, and therefore we bring our unique person into this group. And this is exactly the beauty of the group, that you have different levels of expertise, different backgrounds, and everyone is learning, regardless of the number of years of experience. So you can be a 10 years experience coach and benefit, but also give to the group, contribute. And the same happens to a coach that has just qualified or is completing the qualification. The same, they can contribute, give their enthusiasm, and at the same time share and exchange with perhaps coaches that are a little bit further ahead in their journey.
But it's great having coaches that are just going through their training because they have a fresh outlook as well. And, once you start getting onto that treadmill of building your business, you step away from coaching quite a bit, actually, because all your time and energy is looking at building your website, your marketing, So then when the new coaches are coming, it's just like, oh gosh, I forgot about that tool, or I really want to discuss this. I remember this being really important to me and energizing. So everybody brings something extremely valuable to the table. Right, so just before we sign off, how would you like people to contact you? I've got your websites up there. So if anybody would like to reach out, or they can come and grab you at a discuss and grow growth session, because you two are regulars there, which is really appreciated.
Definitely within the coaching supporting coaches community, we are present. I am present, especially at the growth sessions. I'm there every second Tuesday, so anyone can approach me via the session. If not, as you know, I am the founder of Be Coached, which is my coaching practice. So if you Google becoach.org, you'll find all the information about myself. And of course, I am always on LinkedIn, Silvia Bottini, coach.
So same here. There's the www.expandcoach.com. You can find also my LinkedIn in there. For the coaches who are watching this within the group, come grab and let's discuss in the discuss and grow. Let's come and see each other on the grow. For people who are not coaches, just to know that this is not only for coaches, we also have training sessions for specific topics. Sylvia is going to discuss about reputation. Is it next week, Sylvia?
Yes, it's all about
reputation. No, 22nd.
22nd, and we always have this kind of workshop that are open for public. So also please just, I don't know if they follow the Instagram for Donna, and then they will find everything there for the, right? That would be the best thing, because I'm not sure if the Facebook group is public or not in terms of the event. Is it?
No. So if you want to find out about any of the workshops that the coaches do on behalf of coaches supporting coaches, you can follow me on Facebook and LinkedIn. Just look for Donna Burfield. You'll have the same photo across the I don't like my photo being taken, so you'll have the same photo. And if it's on Instagram, it's at Joy and Purpose Coaching. So, and I always update any workshops that are coming up. So Ladies, thank you so much. I really appreciate your input. And I look forward to next week, where we have another 3 coaches, 1 topic. And that's going to be with Garane and Navina. So thank you very much, everybody. Take care. All the best.
Thank you.
Thank you.